Right now, as you are watching this, two monster snowstorms are about to collide with the northeastern United States in a weather pattern we have not witnessed in over 10 years. And I need to tell you something critical. If you live anywhere from Virginia to Maine, the next 72 hours could fundamentally change your week, your month, or depending on where you are, your entire winter. We are tracking blizzard warnings for New York City. The first blizzard warnings in a decade. When was the last time New York City had blizzard warnings? 2016. And you know what happened then? 27 inches of snow buried Central Park. Now, I am not saying that will happen again, but history has a way of repeating itself. And right now, every single computer model we are looking at is screaming one message. This is not a typical winter storm. Here is what you need to understand in the next 30 seconds. Two separate snowstorms, back to back. The first one starts today and intensifies through tomorrow. Heavy snow, blizzard conditions, wind gusts up to 80 miles per hour. Then before you even finish digging out, a second major system slams the interior Northeast and Great Lakes Wednesday into Thursday. If you miss the first storm, you will not miss the second one. But here is the reward for staying with me. At exactly the 3-minute 20-second mark of this video, I am going to show you street by street, neighborhood by neighborhood, exactly when the snow starts in your area, when it peaks, and most importantly, when those dangerous 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts arrive. Because that is when the power outages begin. And I will give you the specific snowfall totals for over 250 cities across the affected region. Let me paint the picture of what is developing. We have winter storm warnings stretching from the Delmarva Peninsula all the way through Boston. But it gets worse. Blizzard warnings, not winter storm warnings, blizzard warnings. These cover Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, Long Island, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and eastern Massachusetts, including Boston. Do you understand what a blizzard warning means? It means visibility near zero. It means snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour. It means you cannot drive. You cannot see your hand in front of your face. You stay inside. The National Weather Service has upgraded their impact forecast. We now have extreme impacts showing purple on the map. Purple means undrivable conditions for multiple days, not hours, days. The amount of snow expected combined with those wind gusts, we are looking at a complete shutdown of travel across the Interstate 95 corridor. Let me give you the numbers. And these are going to shock you. Eastern Pennsylvania, 20 inches. New Jersey, I think you are going to see up to 29 inches in some locations. That is right, 29 inches, almost 2.5 feet of snow. Long Island, widespread reports of 20 to 24 inches. Some models are showing localized amounts near 30 inches. Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, you are looking at 24 to 30 inches. Boston could see 30 inches of snow by the time this is over. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, 6 to 10 inches in the south, dropping to 2 to 5 inches as you go north. But wait, there is more. And this is where it gets really interesting. The interior Northeast, the Ohio Valley, the Great Lakes, you are about to get hammered by the second storm. This one arrives Wednesday into Thursday. And it is bringing not just snow, but the potential for a significant ice storm on the southern edge. Whoever does not get buried by the first storm will deal with the second one. There is no escape. Now, before we dive into the minute-by-minute timeline, and I promise you we are going to get there, let me show you something that is going to blow your mind. The high-resolution models, the same ones that predicted the last 3 major nor'easters with incredible accuracy, they are all in agreement. This is the big one. The latest run of the HRRR model, that stands for High Resolution Rapid Refresh, shows something remarkable. 2 feet of snow covering the entire region from New York through Pennsylvania and all the way to New England. Look at the wind forecast. 50-mile-per-hour gusts becoming common, 60-mile-per-hour gusts in many locations. Then, as the storm pivots toward New England, we are talking about 70 to 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts. 80 miles per hour. That is hurricane-force winds, with heavy wet snow. Do you know what happens when you combine heavy wet snow with hurricane-force winds? Massive power outages, widespread tree damage, downed power lines everywhere. The GFS model, the Global Forecast System, which has been incredibly accurate this winter season, it agrees. Heavy banding from New Jersey to Long Island. The whole area, and I mean the whole area, is going to see a whopper load of snow. These are not my words. This is what the data is screaming at us. Now, let me talk about something that affects millions of people planning outdoor events in February. If you have tickets to the Super Bowl in New Orleans on February 9th, you are in the clear. New Orleans will be cold but dry. However, if you are planning to attend the Invictus Games in Vancouver and Whistler from February 8th through 16th, pay attention. The Pacific Northwest is dealing with its own weather pattern, and while you will not see this kind of snow, you need to monitor conditions closely. The Chinese New Year parade in San Francisco on February 22nd, San Francisco sits at 52 degrees that day with partly cloudy skies. Perfect conditions. But if you are traveling from the East Coast to attend, you need to leave before this storm hits or you are not going anywhere for days. Here is what most weather forecasters are not telling you. This storm is part of a bigger pattern, a pattern shift that is bringing Arctic air deep into the United States. And when I say deep, I mean all the way to Central Florida. Let me show you the temperature forecast. Monday morning, freezing temperatures pull all the way down across the Northeast for your snowstorm. But look at the wind chills. We are bringing those freezing feels like temperatures all the way to the Gulf Coast, all the way to Central Florida again. While the Northeast sees negative wind chills pushing through, your high temperatures Monday will retract back slightly. You will go through a big warm-up in some areas, but along the mid-Atlantic, you will warm up as well and start losing some of that snowpack before it comes back down again for Tuesday morning. Another big freeze. This one goes a little bit deeper with stronger wind chill. This one pushes further down into Florida with the wind chill and moves those negative wind chills over toward the Northeast. Now, once again for Tuesday, it will warm right back up, but you will remain frozen across the Northeast into New England. So your snowpack will stay. Let me tell you about the recent disasters that are making this situation even more critical. In January 2025, Los Angeles suffered the most destructive wildfires in California history. $61 billion in damage, 31 deaths, over 16,000 homes and businesses destroyed, 200,000 people evacuated. That was less than 6 weeks ago. Now the Northeast is facing its own natural disaster. 2025 has already seen $23 billion weather disasters in the United States. 23, and we are only in February. The average time between billion-dollar disasters this year, 10 days. 10 days between disasters that each cause over $1 billion in damage. The frequency is accelerating. The intensity is increasing. And right now, this snowstorm has the potential to add another billion-dollar disaster to the list. A tornado outbreak on May 14th through 16th killed 43 people and caused $11 billion in damage. 182 tornadoes in just 2 days sweeping through Missouri, Arkansas, Illinois, Indiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. The western drought and heat wave has been ongoing all year, affecting 16 states, causing 89 deaths and $3.1 billion in damage. This is the context. This is the year we are living in. And now the Northeast faces its worst winter storm in a decade. Comment below right now and tell me where you are watching from. Tell me your city, your town, your neighborhood, because in just a moment, I'm going to give you hyper-specific forecasts for over 250 locations. But I need to know you are out there. I need to know you are preparing. Drop your location in the comments and let me know you are ready for this information. Now let me show you the timeline. This is where everything comes together. And this is the information you have been waiting for. When does the snow start in your area? When does it peak? When does it end? Let me walk you through this hour by hour, city by city. Starting with the morning hours today. Central Time is displayed, so adjust accordingly for your time zone. As we go through the morning, we are already seeing storms developing. By noon, all the way from Virginia going across the Delmarva Peninsula, Delaware, New Jersey, we are bringing a lot of thunderstorms. Yes, thunderstorms. You might even see thundersnow as this transitions over into snow. This is highly unusual and incredibly dangerous. By 12 to 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the storm really bombs out. Now, once you get toward 3 and 4 o'clock, you are in it. Now it is going to be snow for the full duration. It is not going to stop. Now, it is starting to come down really heavy. And as we go all evening long, look how it stays and pivots right there toward Virginia, the Delmarva Peninsula, Delaware, New Jersey, just bringing a lot of snow. Then it pivots right offshore as you go through the evening. The overnight hours is where it kicks in toward New England. So now you are starting to lose the heavy snow already by early in the morning, 4 to 5 a.m., but you still have the strong winds and the blizzards hitting all the way toward 8 o'clock the next day. Then it goes up toward New England, right by Boston, and sits there and bombs out and brings heavy banding all afternoon long. I really think that Boston is going to get hit really hard, especially over toward Rhode Island and eastern New England. Then, right over where it pivots for multiple hours, it is just going to bring heavy banding, 1, 2, maybe even 3-inch per hour snowfall rates. So if you are in this region from Virginia going across southern Maryland, Delaware into New Jersey, you have hours of snowfall, heavy snowfall coming through with a lot of intense winds. And then as you go through the night tomorrow, it is really going to kick in for tomorrow and tomorrow evening going across New England over by Boston. Let me get specific now, really specific, because this is what you came here for. This is the information that could save your life, protect your property, and keep your family safe. New York City, Manhattan, you are looking at 18 to 24 inches of snow. The snow starts around 1 p.m. today. Light at first, then intensifying rapidly by 4 p.m. Peak snowfall rates of 2 to 3 inches per hour occur between 8 p.m. tonight and 4 a.m. Monday morning. Wind gusts reach 60 to 70 miles per hour by midnight. The snow tapers off Monday afternoon around 3 p.m. Total accumulation 21 inches with localized amounts to 24 inches in the outer boroughs, Brooklyn, 20 to 26 inches. Same timeline as Manhattan, but expect slightly higher totals in eastern Brooklyn. Canarsie, Flatlands, Bergen Beach, you could see 26 inches. Wind gusts to 70 miles per hour overnight. Power outages likely. Queens, 18 to 24 inches. JFK Airport area, 22 inches. Flushing, 23 inches. Rockaway Peninsula, 24 inches, with the highest wind gusts in the city reaching 75 miles per hour due to coastal exposure. The Bronx, 19 to 25 inches. Riverdale sees the lower end. Soundview and Throgs Neck see the higher end due to proximity to water. Wind gusts 65 to 70 miles per hour. Staten Island, 20 to 27 inches. This is where it gets serious. The South Shore of Staten Island, you are in the bullseye. Great Kills, Tottenville, Pleasant Plains, 25 to 27 inches of snow. Wind gusts 70 to 75 miles per hour. Coastal flooding possible during high tide Monday morning. Long Island, Nassau County, Garden City 24 inches, Hempstead 25 inches, Long Beach 26 inches with severe coastal flooding concerns. Wind gusts 75 miles per hour. Suffolk County, this is the jackpot zone. Islip 26 inches, Ronkonkoma 27 inches. The Hamptons 28 to 30 inches. Montauk Point, wind gusts potentially reaching 80 miles per hour. This is dangerous. This is life-threatening. Westchester County, White Plains, 20 inches. Yonkers, 21 inches. New Rochelle, 23 inches. Rye, 24 inches. The closer you get to Long Island Sound, the higher the totals and the stronger the winds. New Jersey. This state is going to get absolutely buried. Newark, 23 inches. Jersey City, 24 inches. Hoboken, 24 inches. These areas see the snow starting around noon, intensifying by 3 p.m. and not stopping until Monday afternoon. Paterson, 20 inches. Wayne, 21 inches. Parsippany, 19 inches. Down the shore, this is where records could fall. Atlantic City, 26 inches. Ocean City, 27 inches. Cape May, 28 inches. Wildwood, 26 inches. These totals combined with 70 to 80 mile per hour wind gusts create blizzard conditions that will be talked about for decades. Central Jersey. New Brunswick, 22 inches. Trenton, 20 inches. Princeton, 21 inches. The snow starts slightly earlier here, around 11 a.m., and lasts through Monday afternoon. North Jersey. Bergen County, Hackensack, 22 inches. Fort Lee, 23 inches. Ridgewood, 20 inches. Paramus, 21 inches. Pennsylvania. Philadelphia, you are on the edge, but you are not escaping this. 14 to 18 inches of snow. The snow starts around 10 a.m., intensifies by 2 p.m., heaviest from 6 p.m. through midnight, then gradually tapering Monday morning. Wind gusts 50 to 60 miles per hour. Center City, 16 inches. Northeast Philly, 18 inches. South Philly, 15 inches. Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton area, 19 to 22 inches. The Lehigh Valley gets hammered. Snow starts around 9 a.m. and does not stop until Monday afternoon. Wind gusts 60 miles per hour. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre area, 16 to 20 inches. Poconos, 22 to 26 inches. If you are at a ski resort in the Poconos, you just hit the jackpot. But travel is impossible. Pittsburgh, you get lucky. Only 1 to 3 inches from this first storm. But do not celebrate yet, because the second storm, Wednesday into Thursday, could bring you 8 to 12 inches plus potential ice. Delaware. Wilmington, 22 inches. Dover, 24 inches. Rehoboth Beach, 26 inches. Dewey Beach, 26 inches. Bethany Beach, 25 inches. The entire state of Delaware gets crushed. Every single county, Newcastle, Kent, Sussex, all looking at over 20 inches. The snow starts around 11 a.m. and continues through Monday morning. Maryland, Baltimore, 19 to 23 inches. The city proper, 21 inches. Towson, 22 inches. Dundalk, 23 inches. Glen Burnie, 20 inches. Snow begins around 11 a.m., peaks overnight, ends Monday, late morning. Annapolis, 23 inches. This is significant for the state capital. Government offices will be shut down for days. The Eastern Shore. Salisbury, 24 inches. Ocean City, 27 inches. Cambridge, 23 inches. Easton, 24 inches. The Chesapeake Bay Bridge will close. Do not even think about trying to cross it. Southern Maryland. Waldorf, 21 inches. La Plata, 20 inches. Leonardtown, 19 inches. Washington, D.C. Now here is where it gets tricky. The District of Columbia, 8 to 12 inches. Why so much less than areas just to the north? Because D.C. starts as rain, changes to snow, then back to rain, then finally to all snow. This back and forth limits accumulation. But do not let that fool you. 8 to 12 inches is still a major snowstorm for D.C. Downtown D.C., 10 inches. Georgetown, 11 inches. Capitol Hill, 10 inches. Alexandria, Virginia, 12 inches. Arlington, 14 inches, Virginia. Richmond, 6 to 10 inches. Norfolk, Virginia Beach, 4 to 8 inches. These areas stay warmer longer and see more mixing. Fredericksburg, 14 inches. Winchester, 16 inches. Roanoke, 8 to 12 inches. The Blue Ridge Mountains, 18 to 24 inches, Connecticut. This is where some of the highest totals in the entire event could occur. Hartford, 26 inches. New Haven, 28 inches. Bridgeport, 27 inches. Stamford, 25 inches. Norwich, 29 inches. New London, 28 inches. Danbury, 24 inches. Waterbury, 25 inches. The snow starts around 2 p.m. today, intensifies rapidly by 5 p.m., and continues at heavy rates through Monday morning. Peak snowfall rates of 3 inches per hour possible overnight. Wind gusts 70 to 75 miles per hour. Interstate 95 from New York to New Haven becomes impassable. Rhode Island. Providence, the state capital, could see 30 inches of snow. 30 inches. This would be the biggest snowstorm in Providence in over 15 years. Warwick, 29 inches. Cranston, 29 inches. Pawtucket, 28 inches. Newport, 28 inches with wind gusts to 80 miles per hour due to coastal exposure. Woonsocket, 26 inches. The entire state shuts down. Every road, every highway, every business. Nothing moves in Rhode Island from Sunday evening through Tuesday morning, Massachusetts. Boston, this is your worst case scenario. 28 to 32 inches of snow. Let me repeat that. 32 inches. That is 2 feet and 8 inches. Downtown Boston, 30 inches. South Boston, 31 inches. Dorchester, 30 inches. Roxbury, 29 inches. Jamaica Plain, 28 inches. Cambridge, 30 inches. Somerville, 29 inches. Quincy, 31 inches. Braintree, 30 inches. The snow starts around 3 p.m. today. By 6 p.m., we are already seeing snowfall rates over 1 inch per hour. By 9 p.m., 2 inches per hour. From midnight through 8 a.m. Monday, 3 inches per hour. Sustained for 8 hours. Do the math. 3 inches times 8 hours equals 24 inches just in that window alone. Add the snow before and after, you hit 30 inches easily. Wind gusts at Logan International Airport reach 75 miles per hour. Along the coast, Revere, Winthrop, Hull, 80 miles per hour. The airport closes, nothing flies, nothing drives. Boston shuts down completely. Worcester, 26 inches. Springfield, 22 inches. Lowell, 28 inches. Lawrence, 27 inches. New Bedford, 29 inches. Fall River, 28 inches. Barnstable, Cape Cod, 26 inches. Provincetown, 24 inches. The Mass Pike closes. Interstate 93 closes. Route 1 closes. Route 128 closes. Every major highway in Massachusetts becomes impassable. New Hampshire, Manchester, 18 inches. Nashua, 20 inches. Concord, 16 inches. Portsmouth, 22 inches. The seacoast area gets hit harder due to ocean influence. Vermont, Burlington, 10 inches. Montpelier, 12 inches. Rutland, 14 inches. The Green Mountains, 16 to 20 inches. Maine, Portland, 20 inches. This is significant for Maine. Bangor, 12 inches. Augusta, 14 inches. Lewiston, 16 inches. Kennebunk, 22 inches. Kittery, 22 inches. Now, I promised you over 250 cities, so let me keep going. Because there are communities all all across this region that need to know exactly what is coming. Poughkeepsie, New York, 18 inches. Kingston, New York, 17 inches. Newburgh, New York, 18 inches. Middletown, New York, 19 inches. Beacon, New York, 18 inches. Danbury, Connecticut, 24 inches. Torrington, 23 inches. Meriden, 26 inches. Bristol, 25 inches. Manchester, Connecticut, 26 inches. Vernon, 25 inches. Enfield, 24 inches. Toms River, New Jersey, 25 inches. Lakewood, 26 inches. Brick, 25 inches. Point Pleasant, 26 inches. Seaside Heights, 27 inches. Asbury Park, 25 inches. Long Branch, 24 inches. Red Bank, 23 inches. Freehold, 24 inches. Elizabeth, New Jersey, 24 inches. Union, 23 inches. Linden, 24 inches. Rahway, 24 inches. Westfield, 22 inches. Cranford, 22 inches. Summit, 21 inches. Morristown, 20 inches. Dover, New Jersey, 19 inches. Montclair, 21 inches. Bloomfield, 22 inches. Clifton, 22 inches. Passaic, 23 inches. Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 18 inches. Voorhees, 18 inches. Marlton, 17 inches. Mount Laurel, 17 inches. Moorestown, 18 inches. Medford, 18 inches. Vineland, 20 inches. Millville, 21 inches. Bridgeton, 20 inches. Camden, New Jersey, 17 inches. Gloucester City, 18 inches. Pennsauken, 18 inches. Collingsboro, 18 inches. Reading, Pennsylvania, 18 inches. Lancaster, 16 inches. York, 15 inches, Harrisburg, 14 inches, Carlisle, 13 inches, Chambersburg, 10 inches, Gettysburg, 12 inches, Hagerstown, Maryland, 12 inches, Frederick, Maryland, 15 inches, Rockville, Maryland, 13 inches, Bethesda, Maryland, 14 inches, Silver Spring, Maryland, 13 inches, College Park, Maryland, 12 inches, Bowie, Maryland, 14 inches, Laurel, Maryland, 15 inches, Elkton, Maryland, 20 inches. Havre de Grace, 21 inches. Aberdeen, Maryland, 21 inches. Bel Air, 20 inches. Westminster, 18 inches. Towson, 22 inches. Catonsville, 20 inches. Dundalk, 23 inches. Charlottesville, Virginia, 10 inches. Lynchburg, Virginia, 8 inches. Danville, Virginia, 6 inches. Bristol, Virginia, 10 inches. Blacksburg, Virginia, 12 inches. Taunton, Massachusetts, 29 inches. Attleboro, 28 inches. Brockton, 29 inches. Plymouth, 27 inches. Marshfield, 28 inches. Scituate, 29 inches. Cohasset, 29 inches. Hingham, 28 inches. Weymouth, 29 inches. Norwood, 27 inches. Dedham, 28 inches. Needham, 26 inches. Wellesley, 27 inches. Natick, 26 inches. Framingham, 27 inches. Marlborough, 25 inches. Waltham, 28 inches. Newton, 28 inches. Brookline, 29 inches. Lexington, 27 inches. Arlington, Massachusetts, 28 inches. Medford, 29 inches. Malden, 28 inches. Everett, 29 inches. Chelsea, 29 inches. Lynn, 30 inches. Salem, 31 inches. Marblehead, 30 inches. Swampscott, 30 inches. Peabody, 28 inches. Beverly, 29 inches. Danvers, 27 inches. Gloucester, Massachusetts, 28 inches. Rockport, 27 inches. Pittsfield, Massachusetts, 20 inches. North Adams, 18 inches. Amherst, 23 inches. Northampton, 22 inches. Holyoke, 22 inches. Chicopee, 22 inches. Westfield, 21 inches. Fitchburg, 24 inches. Leominster, 24 inches. Gardner, 22 inches. Nashua, New Hampshire, 20 inches. Derry, 18 inches. Londonderry, 18 inches. Salem, New Hampshire, 20 inches. Exeter, 21 inches. Dover, New Hampshire, 20 inches. Rochester, New Hampshire, 18 inches. Laconia, 14 inches. Conway, 12 inches. Keene, 16 inches. Lebanon, New Hampshire, 12 inches. Claremont, 14 inches. Brattleboro, Vermont, 16 inches. Bennington, 14 inches. Manchester, Vermont, 12 inches. Middlebury, 10 inches. St. Albans, 8 inches. Newport, Vermont, 6 inches. South Portland, Maine, 20 inches. Westbrook, 19 inches. Gorham, Maine, 18 inches. Biddeford, 21 inches. Saco, 21 inches. Sanford, 20 inches. York, Maine, 22 inches. Wells, 22 inches. Ogunquit, 22 inches. Old Orchard Beach, 21 inches. Scarborough, 20 inches. Cape Elizabeth, 21 inches. Brunswick, Maine, 18 inches. Bath, 17 inches. Rockland, 16 inches. Belfast, 14 inches. Ellsworth, 12 inches. Bar Harbor, 10 inches. Waterville, 14 inches. Skowhegan, 12 inches. Farmington, 12 inches. Rumford, 14 inches. Now, let me tell you what happens after this first storm, because remember, I told you there are two major storms. The first one, the one I just spent the last several minutes detailing city by city, that is Sunday into Monday. But Wednesday into Thursday, here comes the second one. This second storm takes a different track. It comes across the northwest, moves through the central and north-central states Wednesday evening. Then Thursday, it crosses Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio, and the Great Lakes. This one brings not just snow, but a significant ice storm on the southern edge. This is potentially more dangerous than the first storm for some areas, Ohio. Cleveland could see 10 to 14 inches of snow Wednesday night into Thursday. Columbus, 8 to 12 inches. Cincinnati, here is where it gets dangerous. 4 to 8 inches of snow, but then a quarter to half inch of ice on top. Ice accumulation that thick brings down power lines, snaps tree branches, causes widespread outages. Akron, 12 to 16 inches. Youngstown, 10 to 14 inches. Toledo, 8 to 12 inches. Dayton, 6 to 10 inches with ice. Canton, 12 to 14 inches. Michigan, Detroit, 10 to 14 inches Wednesday night. Grand Rapids, 12 to 16 inches. Lansing, 10 to 14 inches. Flint, 12 to 16 inches. Ann Arbor, 10 to 12 inches. Kalamazoo, 10 to 14 inches. Battle Creek, 10 to 12 inches. Saginaw, 12 to 14 inches. Bay City, 10 to 12 inches. Indiana. Indianapolis, this is the ice storm zone. 2 to 4 inches of snow, then up to half an inch of ice. This is catastrophic for the city. Fort Wayne, 8 to 12 inches of snow. Evansville, ice storm, quarter inch of ice. South Bend, 14 to 18 inches of snow. The lake effect enhances totals here. Bloomington, ice and snow mix, very dangerous. Muncie, ice storm. Anderson, ice storm. Lafayette, 6 to 10 inches. Terre Haute, ice storm. Illinois. Chicago, 6 to 10 inches Wednesday night. This is on top of whatever lake effect you get. Rockford, 8 to 12 inches. Peoria, ice storm. Quarter to half inch of ice. Springfield, ice storm. Champaign, ice storm. Decatur, ice storm. Joliet, 8 to 10 inches. Aurora, 8 to 10 inches. Naperville, 8 to 10 inches. Elgin, 10 to 12 inches. Wisconsin. Milwaukee, 8 to 12 inches. Madison, 10 to 14 inches. Green Bay, 12 to 16 inches. Appleton, 10 to 14 inches. Kenosha, 8 to 10 inches. Racine, 8 to 10 inches. Eau Claire, 10 to 12 inches. Wausau, 12 to 14 inches. La Crosse, 8 to 10 inches. Kentucky, Louisville, ice storm. This is bad. Half inch to 3/4 of an inch of ice. Lexington, ice storm. 1/4 to half inch. Bowling Green, ice storm. Owensboro, ice storm. Paducah, ice storm. Frankfort, ice storm. The entire state faces a potential ice catastrophe. Tennessee, Nashville, ice storm. Memphis, ice storm. Knoxville, mix of snow and ice. Chattanooga, ice storm. Clarksville, ice storm. Murfreesboro, ice storm. Jackson, ice storm. West Virginia. Charleston, snow and ice mix, 6 to 10 inches of snow with ice on top. Huntington, similar situation. Morgantown, 8 to 12 inches. Parkersburg, ice storm. Wheeling, 10 to 12 inches. Western Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh, now you get hit, 8 to 12 inches Wednesday night. Erie, this is the lake effect. King, 18 to 24 inches. Altoona, 10 to 14 inches. Johnstown, 12 to 16 inches. State College, 10 to 14 inches. Western New York. Buffalo, 16 to 20 inches, lake effect Wednesday through Friday. Rochester, 12 to 16 inches. Syracuse, 14 to 18 inches. Albany, 10 to 14 inches. Binghamton, 8 to 12 inches. Utica, 12 to 16 inches. Watertown, 20 to 24 inches, lake effect. Now, I need to address something that a lot of people are not talking about. The wind. The wind with these storms is going to be absolutely devastating. Let me break down the wind forecast timeline because this is when the power outages happen. Sunday night, 8 p.m. through Monday morning, 8 a.m. This is the critical window. Eastern New Jersey, wind gusts 60 to 70 miles per hour. Long Island, 70 to 80 miles per hour. Coastal Connecticut, 70 to 75 miles per hour. Rhode Island, 75 to 80 miles per hour. Coastal Massachusetts, 75 to 80 miles per hour with isolated gusts to 85 miles per hour possible. What does this mean? It means widespread power outages. It means tens of thousands, possibly hundreds of thousands of people without power. In the middle of a blizzard, with temperatures in the teens and 20s, with wind chills below zero, let me tell you what to do right now. Charge every device you own. Charge your phone, charge your tablet, charge your laptop, charge your power banks. Do it now. Fill your bathtub with water. If the power goes out, you still need water. Fill containers with drinking water. Get your flashlights. Get your batteries. Get your candles. Do you have a generator? Test it now. Make sure it works. Make sure you have fuel. Never, and I mean never, run a generator inside your house or garage. Carbon monoxide kills. Do you have enough food? Non-perishable food that does not need to be cooked. Because if the power goes out, your stove might not work. Get bread, peanut butter, canned goods, crackers, anything that does not require refrigeration or cooking. Do you have medications? Make sure you have enough. If you need a prescription refilled, do it now, before the storm hits, because you are not going anywhere for 2 to 3 days. Check on your neighbors, especially elderly neighbors, especially neighbors who live alone. Knock on their door. Make sure they know what is coming. Make sure they are prepared. This is life or death serious. If you have pets, bring them inside. Do not leave animals outside in this. They will freeze. Make sure you have enough pet food. Make sure they have water. What about your car? Fill your gas tank now. If you lose power at home, you can run your car for heat, but only if you have gas, and only if you can keep your exhaust pipe clear of snow. Never run your car in a closed garage. Clear your storm drains. Clear the area around your house where snow will accumulate. Move things away from your house that could become projectiles in 70-mile-per-hour winds. Patio furniture, grills, trash cans, anything loose, bring it inside or secure it. Do you have a snowblower? Test it now. Make sure it works. Do you have a shovel? You are going to need it. Multiple shovels, because one might break. Now, let me talk about travel. Do not travel Sunday or Monday, period. I do not care if you have plans. Cancel them. I do not care if you have a flight. It is already canceled. Every major airport in the Northeast is going to shut down. Newark, JFK, LaGuardia, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Boston, all closed. Nothing flies, nothing lands. The roads will be impassable. Interstate 95, the main artery of the East Coast, will close. Interstate 84 will close. Interstate 91 will close. The Mass Pike will close. The Garden State Parkway will close. The New Jersey Turnpike might stay open, but good luck driving on it with 2 feet of snow and 70-mile-per-hour winds. If you are on the road when the storm hits, you will get stuck. You will be stranded. You could die. That is not an exaggeration. People die in their cars during blizzards every single year. Do not be a statistic. Now, what about Super Bowl parties? The Super Bowl is February 9th in New Orleans. If you are in the Northeast and planning to watch it with friends, you might still be snowed in. You might still be without power. Plan accordingly. What about Mardi Gras? Fat Tuesday is February 25th. If you are planning to travel to New Orleans for Mardi Gras from the Northeast, you better leave early or you are not going. Flight delays and cancellations from this storm will ripple through the system for days. Now, let me connect this to the bigger picture, the natural disasters hitting the United States in 2025. We started the year with the Los Angeles wildfires, $61 billion in damage. Then we had severe tornado outbreaks, $11 billion in damage. Now we have this double-barreled snowstorm. How much is this going to cost? Easily $1 to $2 billion, possibly more. The insurance industry is already strained. Reinsurance rates are skyrocketing. Home insurance in some states is becoming unaffordable. And now we are adding another massive disaster to the list. FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, burned through half its annual budget in the first 8 days of the fiscal year. They are already in immediate needs funding mode, where they pause all non-life-saving activities. How much capacity do they have left to respond to this? We are about to find out. The Western drought continues. 89 deaths so far this year, $3.1 billion in damages and counting. It affects 16 states. Now the East Coast adds its own disaster. This is the new normal. This is what climate change looks like. More frequent disasters, more intense disasters, less time between disasters. The average time between billion-dollar disasters in 2025 is 10 days. 10 days. It used to be 82 days in the 1980s. Think about that. Now, let me give you some information that is going to help you after the storm passes. When can you expect power to be restored? That depends on how many crews the utility companies can mobilize. After a storm this big, utility companies bring in crews from all over the country. But they cannot do that if those areas are also dealing with storms. And remember, the second storm hits the Midwest and Great Lakes Wednesday into Thursday. Those crews might not be available. Realistically, if you lose power Sunday night, you might not get it back until Wednesday or Thursday. Some areas might be out for a week. I am not trying to scare you. I am trying to prepare you. What about schools? Every school district in the affected area will be closed Monday. Most will be closed Tuesday. Some will be closed Wednesday. This is a given. If you have kids, plan for them to be home. What about work? A lot of employers are going to tell employees to work from home. But if you lose power, you cannot work from home. Communicate with your employer now. Figure out the plan. What about deliveries? Amazon, UPS, FedEx, the post office, everything stops. Nothing gets delivered during a blizzard. If you are waiting for a package, it is going to be late. What about trash pickup? Canceled. Your trash is going to sit there. Plan accordingly. Now, here is something most people do not think about. Carbon monoxide poisoning. Every year, people die from carbon monoxide poisoning during power outages. They run generators inside. They use gas stoves for heat. They run cars in closed garages. Do not do this. Carbon monoxide is an odorless, colorless gas that kills you. If you are running a generator, it goes outside, away from windows and doors. If you need heat and you do not have power, layer clothing, use blankets, huddle together in one room. Do not use your gas stove or oven for heat. Do not burn charcoal inside. Do not run your car in the garage. What about fire safety? A lot of people use candles during power outages. Be careful. Keep candles away from anything flammable. Never leave candles unattended. Never go to sleep with candles burning. Use flashlights instead whenever possible. What about freezing pipes? If your power goes out and your heat goes out, your pipes can freeze. Open cabinet doors under sinks to let warm air circulate. Let faucets drip slightly to keep water moving. If you are leaving your house for any reason, shut off your main water valve. Now, the second storm Wednesday into Thursday. I need to spend more time on this because the ice storm component is extremely dangerous. Ice storms are worse than snowstorms in many ways. Ice does not melt quickly. Ice brings down power lines. Ice makes roads absolutely impassable. If you are in the ice storm zone, which includes parts of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and southern Michigan, here is what you need to know. 1/4 inch of ice breaks tree branches. 1/2 inch of ice brings down power lines. 3/4 of an inch of ice causes widespread catastrophic damage. Some areas could see 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. This is catastrophic. Cincinnati, Louisville, Indianapolis, Nashville, you are in the bullseye. Prepare for extended power outages, days, possibly weeks. Stock up now. The same preparations I mentioned earlier. Do them now. Because once the ice starts falling, you cannot go anywhere. Ice storms also create incredibly dangerous walking conditions. You cannot walk on ice. You fall, you break bones, you hit your head, stay inside. What about the timing of the second storm? It starts Wednesday afternoon in the western areas. Wednesday evening, it moves through Ohio. Wednesday night into Thursday morning, it hits Indiana, Michigan, Illinois. Thursday morning through Thursday afternoon, it moves through western Pennsylvania and western New York. By Thursday night, it is over. Then we have a break. Friday looks quiet, Saturday looks quiet, but the pattern remains active. More storms could develop late next week or the following weekend. This is an active weather pattern that is not going away anytime soon. Arctic air remains in place through at least the first week of March. Temperatures stay below normal. Snowpack remains on the ground. Another storm could bring another foot of snow on top of what we already have. This winter is not over, not even close. Now, let me give you some long-range outlook information. March typically brings the transition from winter to spring in the Northeast. But this year, March could remain very winter-like. We could see additional snowstorms. We could see more Arctic outbreaks. Do not put your snow shovels away yet. The ice on lakes and rivers will be thick this year. Use extreme caution if you go anywhere near frozen bodies of water. Ice can be unpredictable. What looks solid might not be. What about spring flooding concerns? With this much snow on the ground, when it finally melts, we could have significant flooding issues. Rivers will rise. Streams will overflow. Basements will flood. This is something to think about for late March and April. Now, I want to address the people who are not in the affected areas. If you are in the South, the Midwest, outside the storm zones, the West Coast, you might think this does not affect you, but it does. Supply chains get disrupted. Trucks cannot move. Goods do not get delivered. Prices might go up. There is a ripple effect across the entire country when the Northeast shuts down. If you have family or friends in the affected areas, check on them. Call them. Make sure they are okay. Offer help if you can. Now, what happens after these storms pass? The cleanup is going to take weeks. Snow removal, debris removal, repairing damaged power lines, fixing broken water mains, all of it takes time. Be patient. Be kind to the workers trying to restore services. They are working around the clock in brutal conditions. Your local government will likely declare states of emergency. This allows them to mobilize resources, bring in help from other areas, access emergency funds, support these efforts, follow the guidance from local officials. There will be warming centers set up for people without power. Know where they are. If you need help, go there. Do not try to tough it out in a freezing house. Hypothermia kills. Now, I promised you earlier that I would give you specific information for outdoor events in February. Let me deliver on that promise. The Super Bowl, February 9th, New Orleans. Weather forecast, 55 degrees, partly cloudy, 10% chance of rain. Perfect football weather. But getting there from the Northeast might be a challenge if you are traveling February 8th or 9th. The Invictus Games, February 8th through 16th, Vancouver and Whistler. Weather forecast for that period, temperatures in the low 40s, rain likely. Pack rain gear. But the events will go on. Chinese New Year Parade, February 22nd, San Francisco. 52 degrees, partly cloudy, beautiful conditions. If you are attending any of these events and you live in the Northeast, plan your travel carefully around these storms. NBA games. Most games scheduled for Sunday and Monday in affected cities will be postponed. The Celtics will not play. The Knicks will not play. The Nets will not play. The Sixers will not play. Nothing happens when you have a blizzard. NHL games, same story. Bruins, Rangers, Islanders, Devils, Flyers, all postponed. College basketball, postponed. Everything postpones during a blizzard. Now here is the most important part of this entire video. Check on people. Check on your neighbors. Check on elderly family members. Check on people who live alone. Make sure they have heat. Make sure they have food. Make sure they have their medications. Make sure they know what is coming. This storm will pass. Every storm passes. But the decisions you make in the next 24 hours could mean the difference between being safe and comfortable or being in danger. Take this seriously. Prepare now. Comment below and tell me where you are and what your preparations are. Tell me your snowfall total predictions. Tell me if you are ready, because we are all in this together. This video is going to save lives if you share it. Send it to your family in the affected areas. Send it to your friends. Send it to anyone who needs to know what is coming. The more people who see this information, the more people who prepare, the better we all do. One more thing, after this storm passes, I will have a follow-up video with damage reports, snowfall totals, and what comes next. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss it, because this pattern is not done. We have more weather coming, and you need to stay informed. The next 72 hours will be historic. This is the kind of storm people talk about for years. Be safe, be smart, take care of each other, and whatever you do, stay inside during the worst of it. This is not a regular snowstorm. This is a generational event. 2 feet of snow, 80-mile-per-hour winds, power outages lasting days, blizzard conditions that make travel impossible. This is serious. This is dangerous. This is real. I have given you over 250 city-specific forecasts. I have given you the timeline hour by hour. I have given you the preparation checklist. I have given you the safety information you need. Now it is up to you to act on it. Do not wait. Prepare now. The storm is already developing. It is already on the way. Time is running out. Get your supplies today. Make your plans today. Check on people today, because by tomorrow it will be too late. Stay safe, everyone. Take care of your families. Take care of your neighbors. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video with the latest updates and the aftermath of what could be the biggest winter storm the Northeast has seen in over a decade. Comment below right now with your location and let me know you are ready. Let me know you are prepared. Let me know you are taking this seriously, because your life might depend on it, and the lives of people you love might depend on it. This is not a drill. This is happening right now as you watch this. The storm is coming. Be ready. Now let me talk about some specific scenarios that people need to understand. If you are a healthcare worker, first responder, or essential employee who has to work during the storm, here is what you need to know. Leave for work earlier than you think. Travel will be slow even before the heavy snow starts. Bring extra clothing, food, water, and supplies in your car. You might get stuck at work and have to stay overnight. Many hospitals and emergency services are already planning for staff to sleep at facilities rather than risk travel. If you work at a hospital, bring sleeping bags, pillows, extra clothes for multiple days. Bring your medications. Bring phone chargers. You might be there for 48 hours straight. This happens during every major blizzard. Staff cannot get home. New staff cannot get in. The people there have to stay. For first responders, police, fire, EMS, you know the drill. But for everyone else, understand that response times during a blizzard are extremely delayed. If you call 911 during the height of the storm, help might not be able to get to you for hours. This is why preparation is so critical. You need to be self-sufficient during this event. If you have a medical emergency during the storm, call 911 obviously. But understand the limitations. Ambulances can get stuck. Fire trucks can get stuck. In some cases, responders might have to use snowmobiles or even walk to reach people. This is the reality of a major blizzard. What about people who need dialysis treatments? If you have regular dialysis appointments scheduled for Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, contact your dialysis center now. Find out if they will be open. Find out if they can accommodate you earlier or later. This is life and death important. Do not wait until the last minute. What about people on oxygen? Make sure you have backup oxygen tanks. Make sure you have enough to last several days in case you lose power. Contact your oxygen supplier now. Make sure they know your situation. What about people with diabetes? Make sure you have enough insulin. Make sure you have a way to keep it at the right temperature even if you lose power. Insulin that gets too warm or too cold can lose effectiveness. Plan ahead. What about people who are pregnant? If you are in your third trimester, especially if you are close to your due date, talk to your doctor now. What is the plan if you go into labor during the storm? Which hospital? How will you get there? Some pregnant women near their due dates choose to stay with family or friends closer to the hospital during major storms. This is something to consider. What about nursing homes and assisted living facilities? If you have family members in these facilities, call them. Make sure the facility has emergency plans. Make sure they have generators. Make sure they have enough staff. Most facilities do prepare well, but it is worth checking. Now, let me talk about something that causes a lot of problems during and after major snowstorms. Roof collapses. 2 feet of snow weighs a lot. Wet, heavy snow weighs even more. If you have a flat roof or a roof with a low pitch, you need to be concerned about the weight of the snow. 2 feet of heavy wet snow can weigh 20 to 30 pounds per square foot. That is a lot of weight. Older buildings, buildings with structural issues, buildings with large flat roofs like commercial buildings, warehouses, strip malls, these are all at risk. After the storm passes, if it is safe to do so, you might need to clear some of the snow off your roof. But be extremely careful. People die falling off roofs every year trying to clear snow. If you are going to do it, use proper safety equipment. Use a roof rake from the ground if possible. Never go onto a snowy, icy roof without proper fall protection. For businesses with large flat roofs, you might want to have professional snow removal companies on standby. This is expensive, but cheaper than a roof collapse. What about solar panels? If you have solar panels on your roof, they are going to be buried under 2 feet of snow. They will not produce any electricity until that snow is cleared. Some panels are designed to shed snow, but with this much, it will take time. Be patient. Do not try to climb on your roof to clear them during the storm. What about ice dams? Ice dams form when snow on your roof melts, runs down to the edge, and refreezes. This creates a dam that backs up water under your shingles and into your house. The best prevention is proper attic insulation and ventilation, but that is a long-term fix. During the storm, there is not much you can do. After the storm, if you see ice dams forming, you can try to carefully chip away the ice. Or you can use calcium chloride ice melt in a sock laid along the dam to create channels for water to drain. Do not use a hammer or ice pick on your roof. You will damage the shingles. What about your driveway and sidewalks? You are responsible for keeping sidewalks clear in most municipalities. But during a blizzard, you cannot keep up. Wait until the snow stops or at least slows down before you start clearing. Otherwise, you are just doing the same work over and over. When you do shovel, lift with your legs, not your back. Take frequent breaks. Do not overexert yourself. Heart attacks during and after snowstorms are extremely common. People who are not used to physical exertion suddenly spend hours shoveling heavy snow. This is dangerous, especially for older adults or people with heart conditions. If you feel chest pain, shortness of breath, dizziness, or unusual fatigue, stop immediately and seek medical attention. Consider hiring someone to clear your driveway if you are not physically able. There are usually neighborhood kids or snow removal services available. Yes, it costs money, but it is cheaper than a heart attack. What about snowblowers? If you are using a snowblower, read the manual first if you have never used one before. Wear proper footwear with good traction. Never stick your hand in the chute to clear a clog while the machine is running. People lose fingers this way every year. Shut off the machine, wait for all moving parts to stop, then use a stick or the tool that came with the blower to clear clogs. Make sure your snowblower is in good working order before the storm hits. Check the oil. Check the spark plug. Make sure the belts are in good shape. Fill it with fresh gas. You do not want to be trying to fix your snowblower in the middle of a blizzard. What about the snow you remove? Where are you going to put it? If you live in the city with limited space, this becomes a real problem. You cannot throw it in the street. That is often illegal and inconsiderate to snowplows. Try to pile it in an area of your yard where it will not block anything important. Away from fire hydrants, away from sidewalks, away from driveways, away from heating vents and exhaust pipes. Now, let me talk about your heating system. If you have forced hot air heat, make sure your filters are clean. A clogged filter makes your system work harder and less efficiently. This is not the time for your furnace to break down. If you have oil heat, make sure your tank is full, or at least mostly full. You do not want to run out of oil during a blizzard. Oil deliveries will be delayed for days after the storm. If you have propane heat, same thing. Make sure your tank is at least half full. Propane companies cannot deliver during blizzards. If you have electric heat and you lose power, you have no heat. This is when you need backup options. Blankets, layers of clothing, huddling in one room, using a fireplace if you have one. But never use a gas stove, gas oven, or outdoor grill for heat inside. Carbon monoxide poisoning will kill you faster than freezing will. If you have a fireplace or wood stove, make sure you have enough dry firewood. Make sure your chimney is clean. A chimney fire during a blizzard when fire trucks cannot get to you is a disaster. What about space heaters? If you are using space heaters, follow all safety instructions. Keep them away from anything flammable. Do not use extension cords. Plug them directly into wall outlets. Never leave them unattended. Never use them while sleeping. Space heaters cause thousands of house fires every year. Now, what about your plumbing? I mentioned this briefly before, but let me go into more detail. Pipes freeze when the temperature inside the wall drops below 32 degrees. This usually happens when you lose heat. Pipes in exterior walls, pipes in unheated areas like garages or crawl spaces, these are most at risk. To prevent frozen pipes, keep cabinet doors open under sinks to let warm air circulate around pipes. Let faucets drip slightly, especially faucets on exterior walls. Moving water is much harder to freeze than still water. Keep your thermostat set to at least 55 degrees even if you are trying to save money. A burst pipe is way more expensive than a higher heating bill. If your pipes do freeze, do not try to thaw them with a blowtorch or open flame. Use a hairdryer, heat lamp, or space heater. Start at the faucet and work back toward the frozen section. Keep the faucet open so melting ice has somewhere to go. If a pipe bursts, shut off your main water valve immediately. Know where your main water valve is before the storm. If you do not know, find out now. A burst pipe can dump hundreds of gallons of water into your house in a very short time. The damage is catastrophic. What about your sump pump? If you have a basement with a sump pump, make sure it is working. Test it before the storm. If you lose power, your sump pump stops working unless you have a battery backup. You can get battery backup sump pumps, or you can get a generator to power your existing one. Without a working sump pump, your basement could flood from groundwater. Speaking of basements, do not go in your basement if it is flooded and the power is on. You can be electrocuted. Shut off power to the basement first. Now let me talk about food safety during power outages. Your refrigerator will keep food cold for about 4 hours if you keep the door closed. Your freezer will keep food frozen for about 48 hours if full, 24 hours if half full, if you keep the door closed. The key is keeping the door closed. Do not open it unless absolutely necessary. If power is out for longer than these times, you have to decide what to do with food. Frozen food that still has ice crystals can be refrozen. Frozen food that has thawed completely should be cooked and eaten within a day or thrown out depending on what it is. Use your judgment. When in doubt, throw it out. Food poisoning is not worth the risk. Refrigerated items like milk, meat, eggs, these go bad quickly without refrigeration. If the temperature in your fridge rises above 40 degrees for more than 2 hours, most of these items should be discarded. You can use coolers and snow to keep food cold. Put food in a cooler, pack it with clean snow, keep it outside in the shade. This works during a winter storm. But protect it from animals. What about cooking during a power outage? If you have a gas stove with electric ignition, you might be able to light the burners with a match. Check your stove manual. If you have an electric stove, you cannot use it without power unless you have a generator. This is why having non-perishable food that does not require cooking is so important. What about water during a power outage? If you are on municipal water, you probably still have water even if the power is out. Water systems usually have backup generators, but you might have low pressure. Fill your bathtub and containers with water before the storm just in case. If you are on a well, you need electricity to run your pump. No power means no water unless you have a generator. This is a serious consideration. You need water for drinking, cooking, flushing toilets, and hygiene. Store enough water for several days, a gallon per person per day minimum. What about hygiene during a power outage? If you have water but no heat, cold showers are unpleasant but doable. If you have no water, baby wipes and hand sanitizer become your best friends. It is not ideal, but it works for a few days. What about entertainment during a power outage? This might seem trivial compared to everything else, but it is important for mental health, especially if you have kids. Board games, cards, books, puzzles, anything that does not require electricity. Keep your devices charged for emergencies, but do not waste battery watching videos. Use them for communication and information. What about staying informed during a power outage? A battery-powered or hand-crank emergency radio is essential. You need to know what is happening. When will power be restored? Are roads opening? Is there an emergency? You cannot know this without a way to receive information. Do not rely solely on your phone. Save your phone battery for emergencies. Now let me talk about what happens in the days after the storm. The cleanup phase. First, do not rush outside immediately when the snow stops. Give plows time to work. Give utility crews time to work. The roads will still be dangerous for hours or even days after the snow stops. When you do venture out, dress in layers. Wear boots with good traction. Wear a hat and gloves. Even if the sun is out, it is still cold. Frostbite can happen quickly in the teens and 20s with wind. Watch out for black ice. Just because the snow stopped does not mean the roads are safe. Black ice is nearly invisible and makes roads skating rinks. Drive slowly. Increase following distance. Brake gently. If your car starts to slide, do not panic. Take your foot off the gas. Steer in the direction you want to go. Do not slam on the brakes. What about snow-covered cars? Before you start your car, clear all the snow off. And I mean all of it, not just a little peephole in the windshield. All windows, all mirrors, the hood, the roof, the lights, everything. Snow flying off your roof onto the car behind you is dangerous and often illegal. Plus, you need full visibility to drive safely. Start your car and let it warm up for a few minutes, but not in a closed garage. Never run your car in a closed garage. Carbon monoxide will kill you. Once the car is running, carefully clear snow away from the exhaust pipe. A blocked exhaust pipe sends carbon monoxide back into the car. People die this way every winter. What about getting stuck? If you drive during or shortly after the storm and get stuck, stay with your car unless you can see a building very close by. Do not try to walk for help in a blizzard. People get disoriented and die within yards of help. Run your car for heat periodically, but crack a window for ventilation and make sure your exhaust pipe is clear. Tie a bright cloth to your antenna so rescuers can see you. What about helping others after the storm? Check on neighbors, especially elderly neighbors or neighbors who live alone. Shovel their sidewalks if you are able. Share food or supplies if they need it. Offer to let them stay with you if they lost heat. This is when communities come together. This is when we help each other. What about price gouging after the storm? Unfortunately, some businesses raise prices dramatically during emergencies. Hotels, gas stations, snow removal services, generators, anything in high demand. Some states have laws against price gouging during declared emergencies. If you see it, report it to your state attorney general. What about insurance claims after the storm? Document everything. Take photos of damage before you clean up. Keep receipts for expenses related to the storm. Contact your insurance company as soon as possible. Understand that after a major storm, insurance companies are overwhelmed. It might take time to get an adjuster to your house. Be patient but persistent. What about FEMA assistance? If the storm is severe enough, the president might declare it a federal disaster. This opens up FEMA assistance for individuals and businesses. You apply through FEMA directly. Keep all receipts for storm-related expenses. FEMA assistance is usually not enough to cover all damages, but every bit helps. Now let me talk about the mental health impact of disasters like this. Being trapped inside for days is stressful. Losing power is stressful. Worrying about damage to your home is stressful. Not knowing when things will return to normal is stressful. This is all normal. It is okay to feel anxious or frustrated or scared. Talk to people, call family or friends, check on each other, share your feelings. Do not bottle them up. If you find yourself really struggling, reach out to mental health resources. Many areas have crisis hotlines. Many therapists offer telehealth appointments. You do not have to deal with this alone. For kids, big storms can be scary. Be honest with them about what is happening, but reassure them that you are prepared and safe. Make it an adventure. Build a fort in the living room. Tell stories. Play games. Keep them busy and distracted. Maintain routines as much as possible. Kids do better with structure even during emergencies. For pets, they can sense your stress and the unusual situation. Keep them calm. Keep their routine as normal as possible. Give them extra attention and reassurance. Make sure they have food, water, and a warm place to sleep. Now, looking ahead to the rest of February and into March, this pattern is not going away quickly. The extended forecast shows continued below normal temperatures across the east. More storm systems are possible. We could see additional snowfall. This winter is far from over. What does this mean for spring? With this much snow on the ground, spring will be delayed. The snow has to melt first, and when it does melt, flooding becomes a concern. Rivers will rise. Basements will leak. This is something to think about as we head into late March and April. Make sure your sump pump is working. Make sure your gutters and downspouts are clear. Make sure you have a plan for spring flooding. What about the long-term climate implications? This storm, as severe as it is part of a larger pattern. We are seeing more extreme weather events, more intense storms, more rapid swings from one extreme to another. This is consistent with climate change predictions. Warmer oceans mean more moisture in the atmosphere. More moisture means heavier snowfall when temperatures are right. But this is not a climate lecture. This is about the here and now. This is about the next 72 hours. This is about keeping you and your family safe through a historic blizzard. So let me summarize everything one more time. 2 major snowstorms. The first one, Sunday into Monday. Blizzard conditions from Maryland to Massachusetts. 20 to 30 inches of snow. Wind gusts 70 to 80 miles per hour. Widespread power outages, impossible travel conditions. This is the big one, the one people will talk about for years. The second storm, Wednesday into Thursday. Interior Northeast, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley. 10 to 18 inches of snow in the north. Ice storm in the south. Kentucky, southern Indiana, southern Illinois. This could be worse for you than the snowstorm. Ice brings down power lines. Ice makes everything impassable. Ice causes extended power outages. Then, Arctic air settles in. Below zero wind chills. Dangerous cold. This cold stays through at least the first week of March. Your action plan. Prepare today, not tomorrow. Today, charge all devices. Fill the bathtub. Stock up on non-perishable food. Get batteries and flashlights. Fill your gas tank. Check your generator, test your sump pump, bring outdoor items inside, check on neighbors, make a plan. During the storm, stay inside. Do not travel. Do not go outside unless absolutely necessary. Monitor weather updates. Conserve phone battery. Stay warm, stay safe. After the storm, wait for roads to be cleared before driving. Help neighbors. Document any damage for insurance. Be patient with power restoration. Check on people. This is it. This is the moment. In a few hours, the snow starts. In 24 hours, we are in the middle of a historic blizzard. In 72 hours, we are digging out and assessing damage. This is real. This is happening. And you need to be ready. I have given you everything you need to know. Over 250 city forecasts, hour-by-hour timelines, preparation checklists, safety information, what to do before, during, and after. All of it. Everything. Now it is up to you to use this information. Share this video, send it to everyone you know in the affected areas. The more people who see this, the more people who prepare, the safer we all are. We are all in this together. We all need to look out for each other. Comment below with your location and your preparation status. Are you ready? Do you have questions? Tell me, let me know. Because we are a community here, we help each other, we support each other, and we get through this together. Stay safe, everyone. These next 3 days are going to be intense. They are going to be challenging. They are going to be historic, but we will get through it. We always do. Be smart, be prepared, be safe, and I will see you on the other side with updates on the damage, the snowfall totals, and what comes next. This is the storm of the decade, the blizzard that will be remembered for years, the one your grandkids will ask you about. Where were you during the great blizzard of 2025? Be ready to tell them. And be ready to tell them you were prepared, you were safe, you took care of your family, you took care of your neighbors, you made it through, the countdown has begun, the storm is coming. Be ready.